riding my motorcycle back in the day, my CBR F4i, right? And like my Ruckus, I'm geared out in Alpine Stars. I'm like, one of these days I want to do a collab with these guys. Next thing you know, we're doing a collab. It's awesome, you know? It's like one of those things where everything falls into place. So Fat Lace, it came from, like, I was blogging, you know, back in like 1995, you know, like started a blog called Cafe Mocha. And Fat Lace kind of was a category. That would be when I would talk about hip hop or blog about, you know, sneakers or whatever. So Fat Lace basically started because of Cafe Mocha. It's basically an offshoot of that. Because Cafe Mocha was really a digital space where I would just talk about cool websites, just my interest in design and stuff like that. But whenever I talked about Fat Lace, it was more of a hip-hop inspiration. Fatlace.com started 4 years after, in 1999. Yeah, 10 years ago. Wow. When I opened the store, I had an idea of we need to have a physical space just to plant Fat Lace as a company and a brand and, you know, as a blog and everything, so people can come to the store and check out what we're into, what we sell and stuff like that. What Fat Lace really is all about to me is, it started off just with about all my interests, you know, like, I know my mind's scattered sometimes. It's like I only think about these categories in my brain, so I try and push that as much as I can. Motorsports, obviously, you know, and the bike side, like the fixed gear side, the fashion side through whatever I design and whoever I collaborate with. A friend of mine from Japan, he sent over some videos, his name is Jason Saito. He sent me some tapes. I was like, dude, what is this? You know, like, yeah, dude, there's this thing called drifting, you gotta check it out. And you know, I was like all about it after that, but it was so hard to get anyone interested in it because it was such a new kind of motorsport. So by the time 2002 came around, that's when I actually decided to buy somewhat of a drift car and started drifting around that time. So I think, you know, like what Apex Initiative is doing, you know, like you got brands out there that are reaching and they're just reaching too hard, and you know when they're doing stuff that they shouldn't really be doing. But by leveraging the right artists and the right people to collaborate with that actually have history in automotive or motorsports, then that like makes so much more sense. You know, I've been a big fan of MotoGP like years, you know, just by noticing like Alpine Stars and like tons of bikers. It's like, shit, what the fuck, you know? Why wouldn't I want to do something cool like that later on, like collaborate with these guys? But you know, like we're into like choppers now. We're into like fucking Ruckuses. Yeah, motorcycle culture. So the way I look at life, as far as like, you know, whether I'm designing or racing, I wouldn't say it's like being superstitious, but I definitely follow my rules in my brain. Like, if I'm gonna open the door with my right hand, I'm gonna do it all the time. For the rest of my life, you know? If I clasp my watch one way, I'll do it that way. It's just like racing. Like, you're gonna take that line every single time, but you're gonna try it differently once, and you're gonna either fuck up or do better, you know? So if you think that way when you're designing or you're racing, that's actually when you learn, you know, or you get better, I guess. It's more passion than anything, you know, like whether you're designing or you're racing, you still have that same, you turn it on, basically. And it's all about turning it on, you know, like lots of brands succeed and lots of brands fail. I think when you're focused, you don't fail. And we were looking at Ferraris yesterday for some odd reason. I was just, if I was to own a Ferrari, I would just slam the shit out of it and piss all the Ferrari guys off. That's what I'd do.